All right, well, we might as well get started. Thank you, everybody, for taking time in your what I can only imagine um, is a very busy time for each of our schools. Busy and also, I would imagine, loud and full of energy, depending on where you are. I was just with a secondary colleague, and they were saying that the energy in their school is just off the charts. So I'm hoping you're all staying cool during this time. So we are joining back together one final time for an information session, and we're just going to go over some tips from the senior library team this is also tips for me being new to this role. This is my first time closing off the Learning Commons for the summer. We're just talking about what sort of things you can take for yourself and for your school to close down your system Learning Commons, or your Learning Commons for your school, and just ready yourself for September, or your colleagues, your students, and your community for a successful launch in September. So with that, let's move to the next slide. I do want to start always intentionally and positively with our land acknowledgement. And we're just recognizing that the Hamilton Wetlands District School Board acknowledges our presence on the ancestral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee Confederacy land as determined by the Dish with One Spoon Treaty. And the intent of this agreement is for all nations sharing this territory to do so responsibly, respectfully, and sustainably in perpetuity. And we respect the longstanding relationships with the local Indigenous communities, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and the Six Nations of the Grand River. And certainly, I know I think about this land acknowledgement. I've thought about it a lot this week as, we think about the fires that are taking place in Quebec and the impact that that's having on the earth and on Turtle Island. And it's really our presence on this land, the impact that we have in all that we do is really hitting home for me, especially this week. So as always, our agenda or our sort of tips, if you're able to mute your mics, everybody's already got their mics muted. Perfect. Thank you. Just while you're not speaking, that reduces the chance of any sort of feedback. Mary, Victoria, and I are all going to take a turn sort of sharing some tips and tricks with you. When you are speaking, if you want to turn on your video, we'd love to see you. It's always great. I know we haven't been in person, but it's always great to see your happy faces. Feel free, please. We're a small group, intimate group. You can raise your hand or just shout it out. You can use the chat feature as well. Victoria is going to be monitoring that chat for us. So our agenda today is we're going to go through the closing routines. Oh, and I'm just realizing, are we recording? Yes, we are recording. We are recording today. So thank you, Victoria. We will be posting this, and we will also be sending out all of these instructions in a tip sheet for you. So they'll be posted to the team, they'll be posted to the SharePoint, and they'll be sent in an email. So don't feel the need to take notes, especially if you're, I don't know, driving home. Please don't try and jot these notes down. So we'll go through what we suggest. Then we'll turn it over to the team if there are any other things that you do to ready yourself or to close down your space. If you have any questions for us, we're happy to answer those. And then, of course, we have a prize draw. One thing, because it was a last-minute ad today, I did not add in here. We will hear from Heather Smiley Deneau from Riddell. She wants to share some exciting photos of her space, the work, the hard work that she and her school have done over the last 5 years to really update that space. And with that, I think I am turning it over to Victoria.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me and for coming along here. So just a few reminders. I have two screens, so you'll see me look away a little bit. So for our closing tasks, our book exchange, we have all of our items due back in Horizon on June 16th. So anyone with an items past this will have a block on their account. So that means the Monday that you receive the overdue and lost reports, it will be sent on the 19th, and that will reflect everything that has been checked out within the last year. And that is outstanding for you. So another tasks we have is promoting your book returns. There are, I'm sure, lots of folks starting to return all of their items, but sometimes they just need a gentle reminder. We've got You can create some signage. I know previously I've used things like Batman brings his books back on time, or Batman checks in his books, something like that. You can also have daily announcements, as well as promote it through your staff and students. We also do have reports that if you need for overdues and lost items, to send that to parents. So if you'd like one of those reports, you can send an eBase in to us, and we will make sure that that gets sent out to you. Make sure that you check in and reshelve any of the items that have been returned. It just makes it cleaner for next September when you have to go and open the space again. And then it'll also reflect on the accounts that are there. Please have your staff and students look for library materials in classrooms, desks, sometimes cars or lockers at home, and have them returned to your space. And you can use some student volunteers as well to check any of the shelves for resources that may have been returned without being checked in. You can do that by contacting us through eBase to get a all out items out report to see still what is missing, and then reflect and check that on your shelving. Does anyone have any questions regarding those? No? Okay, so yeah, for sure. If anyone does have any questions, please feel free to use eBase. We will be able to have that sent to you right away. Awesome. And I will pass it on to Mary.
Hello, everyone. So these suggestions will help you prepare your library for an organized September start. So one suggestion to start with is separate items that need to be checked out from items that are ready to be shelved and label them accordingly. That way, when you come in September, you'll know where how those items should be moved forward. Secondly, submit a top desk request in September for any books that you would like added to your collection, and your library technician will pick up that ticket. Also, pull and discard material and make a list of those titles that you would like to be replaced, or if you have student requests, also include that in that list. And if you have time, shelf read your collection. It'll just give the September start a really good, things will be in order and easier to find. And lastly, if you have a summer project planned at your school, just please keep the access to your shelves clear if some library technicians or other staff are coming in. Does anyone have any questions? Anne?
Good question. And top test versus eBase. I'll clarify that. And
okay.
I'll clarify that in my next slide to explain what that means. And just adding on to Mary's comment there, that if you have a summer project planned, you'll know you have a summer project planned.
Yes.
Like, because we've been working, I should say Mary's been working hard to coordinate all of those projects with the schools that we're working in and with the caretaking staff there. So no surprises. You won't get a surprise visit from us in the summer. Likely not. I don't never say never, but likely not.
Thank you.
Yeah. So there are also some pieces that we really encourage in Horizon. And again, all of these, we certainly appreciate that everyone has varying levels of time within their learning commons. So if you have any questions about any of these tasks or how to accomplish these tasks, please reach out to us. We can do our best to help. So Horizon, that's of course our ILS, or our library system, our database system. We do ask that you try and resolve any overdue, lost, or credit blocks, especially for those students that you know that are progressing onto secondary school or out of the system. Students who have an overdue or a lost book on their library account have a block. That's what that's called. You get that sort of bad beep beep in Horizon. Other types of blocks that exist are fine blocks, for example. Those are generally only in secondary. Credits, if a lost book has been paid for and later found, or holds, again, in secondary. There are both written and video instructions on how to remove overdue, lost, and credit blocks on the SharePoint page, and we've linked to them here. You've already been receiving overdue notice reports on Mondays, and as Victoria mentioned, a final overdue notice report will be issued on the 19th. You can use these as a guide to resolving your blocks. The importance really comes down to when students return in September. First, the student isn't starting their first year in secondary school with a lost book attached to their account. They get a fresh start, and there's just less work on your end come September if you're continuously overriding those bad beeps. And students can get right into borrowing. For the most part, we try and, as Victoria mentioned, we encourage everybody to return those items. We understand that there sometimes can be situations where it's not possible. So we really try and to clean up those overdue, lost, and credit blocks as much as possible. Any questions about blocks? Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we want to clear off the circulation computer desktop and your student barcode binder of any.
I think we might have one, Amanda.
Oh yeah. Just got a question. Is there a chat question?
Hi there. Maybe it'd be just easier for me to ask.
Yeah.
When I try to clear the blocks, I'm often asked for like an authorization, and I don't have like what I'm supposed to type in for clearing the block. Does that make sense? I took a picture of it today to show you. Like it says, enter this workstation's payment
ID?
log settings.
Is it, does it say something like workstation ID?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have, I can find some documentation and maybe share that after.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. So
I've looked a couple times and I can't seem to find that anywhere.
yeah,
But maybe I'm looking in the wrong place.
You're not. I don't think it's actually on a SharePoint. I actually have a note here to myself to work through that error doc and update it and add it to the SharePoint. It was something that we often get in September, questions about September when people start clearing those blocks.
Right.
So yeah, Adrian, we can get that sent to you for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We'll follow that up by updating that document and posting it to SharePoint so that everyone has access to it in case you do encounter that error as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, clearing up all of those, the circulation desktop and your student barcode binder of any unwanted documents. This is really first and foremost about student privacy. If you have OEN lists or student checkout lists, overdue reports sort of hanging around, we ask that you delete those and you shred those. No one really besides the teacher librarian and the System Learning Commons should have access to what students outside of their classroom are viewing or checking out, or to the OEN information. So that's first and foremost why we do that. This also helps clean up these machines because for the most part, these are older computers and we want to keep them running as efficiently as possible. And then finally, of course, should anything change over the summer and a new teacher librarian starts up in September, we want to ensure that they're starting fresh, and a preloaded binder may be confusing and of course will be inaccurate. So new barcode lists are available by the end of August. So that's when those new lists would be updated and you can start fresh. Any questions about any of those pieces there?
I think someone's typing in the chat.
Oh, perfect. Adrian, if you think of your question, we'll circle back to that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was from my last one. It was still in. Oh, is it showing that I'm typing? Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. We just don't want to miss your question. Okay, sorry. The last step here is, and it seems like such a simple one, is just to ensure that you've logged out and turned off your library computer. We really don't want to leave it sleeping for 2 months. And I know that's an easy one to forget. But one, obviously for energy consumption, again, coming back to recognizing we want to be good to the earth, but also we got to treat our hardware kindly and give it a vacation too. Again, old computers, they need a rest. So shutting off Horizon and closing down the computer so that it's not sitting on for the length of the summer. There are also a few general best practices for the library. So these are outside of Horizon. First of all, of course, we want all of our teacher librarians to stay with us, but we know that it's not always possible. Some folks are moving on to different roles, different opportunities, which is wonderful, in which case, sincerely, we wish you nothing but success and thank you always for your commitment to your school library. If you aren't returning and you know now, just let us know, because we do spend a significant amount of time in September and October identifying who's who in schools and setting folks up with permissions. And if we know in advance to expect a change in that space, then we can start to plan for it or start reaching out earlier rather than later to your administration. There will be a final survey that will be issued next week, if I'm on top of it, next week. So whether or not you're returning or not, your voice is still very, very important because it informs what we do, what we need to prepare for, what kind of documentation we need to add, and what kind of sessions we should think about for next year, whether or not these sessions work as they are, what you would like to see for next year, all of that good stuff. So please keep your eyes peeled for that final survey. If you have hardware that needs attention, so maybe it's a scanner that won't scan or a circuit computer that just keeps giving you those bad beeps, please submit an eBase ticket. That's this year. So through to the end of June, please submit an eBase ticket. Coming back to that original question, note that we will be moving to Topdesk. We'll be saying goodbye to eBase and moving to Topdesk in mid-August. So I think it's there'll be a memo that will be released tomorrow. So you're getting the inside scoop that the System Learning Commons will be moving to Topdesk in mid-August with more information to come. And just a plug for Topdesk, Mary, Victoria, and I have been working with IIT on the System Learning Commons Topdesk. I know a few folks have already seen our little widget that's sitting there in the Topdesk form right now. It's not active. It's there as a sort of a placeholder. The senior team and I have been working with IIT on these forms, and we think that you're going to find them very intuitive and easy to use. They're really going to cut back on any sort of back and forth because you'll be able to populate those tickets with as much information up front so that we can just get really into the good stuff of processing your need and your request right off the hop. So more to come on that, but you can look for us on Topdesk effective the middle of August. So in the meantime, through to the end of June, keep the eBases coming. If you know, sorry, keep the eBases coming. However, please don't send us your boxes. We have enough boxes here. We will not be able to process them before September. If you know that you'll need supplies for September, consider advocating for or purchasing them now. So we've got just a couple of examples of photos of things that you might want to consider. The System Learning Commons SharePoint page, again, has an extensive vendor list that we've linked again from this slide. So if you're wondering about, maybe you've been given a small pocket of money to purchase some books, or you need some new display easels, or you have a need for some updated signage. You can find all of those links on that vendor list. So you don't have to rack your brain of trying to figure out where do I find biography stickers. We've got all of that information for you. So again, supplies may include labels for your collections, shelf ends. However, we do have quite a number here. If you would like shelf ends, please put in an eBase. We will send them to you. Book display easels, acrylics, Dewey signage, that kind of thing. Any questions about some of those general tasks? Okay. So if you are planning to return next year, just thinking about consider putting a plug-in for with your vice principal for 5 minutes at the start of your first staff meeting in September. I know you're probably thinking, my goodness, I can't start thinking about September, but it really, if you can hit the ground running in September, with getting everyone on board to support the library space, that's going to set you up for success. Over the summer, I will be creating a templated PowerPoint presentation that you can adapt to use to explain to your school how to use the library. Because it was feedback that we had this year from some of our new teacher librarians is, how do I How do I tell my school that it can't just be me? Because really the whole school community plays a part in keeping your shared space operational and functional for your students. So in other words, respectful use of the space and collections. What does that look like for your school? We know how important your role is and how difficult the space can be to manage when you don't have buy-in. So sort of, as I said before, it does take a village. So another task that you could consider doing is pulling titles for back to school display to make those first few days easier for you. So this isn't something that you need to worry about. There are step-by-step instructions on the SharePoint page, again, linked here, on how to search your catalog and create lists within that catalog. So even if you don't, pull the books, you can create a list for yourself. So that come September, you can pull up your list and start pulling those titles. If you'd like a list of new and popular titles in your collection, or what is the most checked out items from last year, we can generate those reports for you. Just ask, again, through eBase, or you can email me. Finally, if you have any remaining Scholastic credits, you want to spend them out. Just a reminder that Scholastic points or credits do have a time limit, and it would be a real shame if they went to waste or expired over the summer. So if you have an opportunity to spend those, you can. Any questions about any of the Horizon or general process suggestions shared? Okay. Back over to Victoria.
Amazing. Pull up my notes. Okay. Awesome. We have the summer access for virtual library. All of your students and US staff have access for the entire summer to all of our resources at home remotely. You can log in with your staff number, and your students would use their OENs to be able on the catalogs to access that. And I've put a tutorial linked through here. So if anyone who is looking to do some research in the middle of summer, or even just wants to know where to access some of our ebook resources, which I know a lot of students may want to do with their families, there is a tutorial that you're welcome to share for our students and with the staff as well. So for right now, we also have Sora Sweet Reads happening right now. Sora Sweet Reads is a summer reading program that's available on Sora to borrow books without holds and is accessible 24/7 to everyone. So these will be available till August 28th, and it's there to encourage student reading and engagement over the summer months. Any questions about either one of those?
If you want 42,000 bookmarks, we have them for you to promote Sora. You can put multiple in every student's backpack that you want to send home, because they sent us a lot of them. So yes. Just let us know if you would like some of those great bookmarks to send home to your students.
Yes, absolutely. Or posters. I've got lots of posters as well. Please feel free to reach out, even eBase, or just email me for some bookmarks, and I can get them in the courier as soon as I can. So for some changes for next year, we are currently working with Sora to take down the logins as the OENs and staff emails to make sure that they are staff logins will be your username and password that you use already for your emails. And this will be across staff and students. We're finding that a lot of the OENs they have created a bit of a barrier when students are trying to access some ebooks. So we are working with Sora, and hopefully we will have that implemented within August for students to come back to, and we'll be giving a lot of information when you get back to school as well. So we will communicate that further as we nail down the dates. We're also saying goodbye to Naxos, which is our music supplier, as well as EBSCO products, but they are going to be supplemented with Gale and Britannica. As well, we do own a SOCAN license, which is for music. So if you are using music within your classrooms or even within the school, like PA systems. We do already purchase a license, so that is not an issue, and you should be able to utilize those resources as well. We will be debuting Encore. So this is a new video resource that's going to be added in September. It is somewhat similar to Learn 360, but it's got more updated Canadian content, which is what we're really looking for, as well as French resources. So we're really excited to have them come on board. We are working with them currently, I believe, to just finalize the privacy information piece of it. So that will be new and fresh in September, and we are super excited to see some of those resources utilized for the next year. Are there any questions regarding any of this information?
And again, there will be a memo about this that will come out tomorrow as well.
Okay. Perfect. I will move on. If anyone does have any questions regarding virtual resources, please feel free to email me. I am happy to answer or stay on after as well.
So now we'll just turn it over to you folks. And we're wondering if there's anything either that inspired you today, or if you have any questions for us, or anything that you do or try in your school, any sort of closing routines that you have from our experienced teacher librarians that you'd like to share with some of our new teacher librarians. Michelle, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to share our exciting news at Rosedale that we got approved for a new learning commons, because I've been working in almost a closet for our library. So we are so excited about that, because that's been on the table since 2017.
Amazing. Congratulations, Rosedale.
Yay,
Someone said something to me about Rosedale recently. I said, have you been there? Because I think they said that it was quite small. So, Michelle, if there's anything that we can do to support from, again, I'm going to point to those vendor lists. But if there's anything that we can do to support with design, with furniture, with layout, shelving, just call on us, and we can help.
Great, thank you. I think it'll be a couple years, but I'll once that comes up, I will definitely reach out. I'm so looking forward to it.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
I know there were a few schools as well that I know of that heard that they received Indigo grants this year. Off the top of my head, I know Pauline Johnson, Westview, and Adelaide Hoodless, I believe. All three received our schools that Indigo will be supporting next year. So congratulations to those schools. Yeah, and we do have a vendor list, and it's pretty exhaustive, but and again, if you have any questions truly about like, who is this, what is this, I know a lot of these people, having worked with them about for many different projects. So yeah, we can I can help with that as well. From Heather, anybody do a sort of tracking or draw of a school classes to try and get them to return library books by the end of June? So do you mean, Heather, anything sort of fun to see like who can return the most books by the end of June?
Yeah, like I was kind of just peeking around like on Pinterest and just seeing if I could find anything. Yeah, like I saw there was like a Bristol board type of thing, like where all the classes were listed, and kind of like how many books are outstanding. I mean, it's hard though, because some classes have like been coming down to the library every week or every 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
they've got a lot of books out, whereas like I'm thinking of one particular grade 7 and 8 class who never came to the library, so I wouldn't want, you know what I mean? Like it almost has to be like a percentage of books signed out versus books returned kind of thing. I don't know. It sounds too complicated.
Math is in everything. My father was right. Adrian, do you have a suggestion?
Yeah, I did last year. I did it on the announcements and just did whatever, class brought all of their books back, and I just got popsicles for that class. So I just said that it was a and kids really were into the popsicles. And I just did the classes that had outstanding books. So if a class didn't really come to the library, I didn't really include them in the, and then I would go on the announcements and just say, this class is close, they only have a few books, and this class is also close. And so some of them bought into it. So I think it helped a bit. And a box of freezies isn't too big of a task to find that.
Those are great ideas. Yeah. And Anne saying that she did
awesome.
something similar. Yeah. And then, I mean, you might inspire that grade 7-8 class next year. Hey, we really want some popsicles. maybe they'll start coming in May just to get in the popsicle game. Okay. I think next up, yeah, just wanted to highlight again that we will be issuing a final survey. And while this isn't necessarily a network session, your voice and your feedback are really important. So we will be issuing that final survey to our elementary network. What worked this year? What didn't? What do you want to see for next year? Does the timing work? Does the format work? All of those good things. You can use the forum or you can email me directly. Our themes might be a little bit more structured come the fall. As our school year, I'm sort of learning our school year really does lend itself to some natural information session rhythms, if you will. So for example, Forest of Reading and the Fold Festival in the fall, Family Literacy Day in December. It's to make sure that you are equipped with all of the tools and resources that you need to celebrate those important days. If you're interested in being part of these sessions next year, and you know that now, or you have an idea for something that you would like to highlight or do next year, please, again, feel free to email me or complete that survey when you see it. Because the System Learning Commons staff do work over the summer. We will be here planning away, trying to make your spaces and both virtual and physical as ready for you as they can be for you to come back in September. I think we're turning this over to Heather Smiley Deneau. Some really exciting pictures to share from Heather. So I'll turn it over to her.
Thanks, Amanda. So yeah, I was really proud that my vision kind of finally came together, and it's nice to hear that with Rosedale, who is that, Adrian?
Michelle
at Rosedale. Like, I mean, it's so exciting when you get money for a big project and big overhaul. And my story is a little bit different. I came into the role 5 years ago, and I inherited, you can see in the pictures here, quite an overwhelming space. And I felt like I had to be the Marie Kondo of libraries because it was very overwhelming. You can see from the pictures, like lots of books. And the teacher librarian that I took over for was our teacher librarian at Riddell for, I want to say 15 years and at least, maybe longer. And she was kind of admitted that she was very good at buying books, but terrible at weeding them. And so because I didn't have any real like attachment to any of these purchased books, and then I kind of hit the ground running, and you can see piles of books bagged up. The picture of the bagged up books was the Learning Commons team from the board under Donna, who came in and did the nonfiction section for me that first summer, because I didn't even know where to start with that, because it was, you can see in the top left corner, just jammed shelves. And the second picture over, there was even like an extra standalone shelf there that was both sides nonfiction as well. So so that was a huge help that first summer, because I came back and I saw all these bags on the tables, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot of books. And Donna truthfully said to me, like, that was kind of the worst of the worst. Like, I mean, if we really respected the, the weeding protocols, you wouldn't have been left with very much on your shelves. So, so anyways, it just gave me kind of something to work with, and just picking away section by section. The bottom left picture there is kind of me starting to pull just super outdated books. I luckily, the teacher librarian before me, she was very efficient at whenever she purchased books, on the inside cover, and I continue to do this to this day, is on the publisher page. We always do like our Riddell stamp, and then we do the date that it kind of entered into the system, just so that it's an easy visual. When it really helped me to weed, especially when I came across books that had been in the Riddell library longer than I had been alive. And I'm 46. So yeah. So when it said 1972 on a stamp, never mind when the book was published, I was like, this gotta go. So so that was like a real blessing. Like, probably at the time she didn't think much of it, but it actually is a really good tip, and I still continue it. So then it also helps too, like when a book comes back damaged and I'm like, I feel like I just bought this book, like how is it already destroyed? Oh yeah, like I bought this at the book fair last year, and it's like, now I got to replace it, right? And I mean, it happens, right? But at least I know then, how long it's lasted, and so I just find that a big help. And I don't know if any other TLs do that, but I just find that it's just kind of a good practice for a lot of reasons. So yeah, so this is all the kind of getting my feet wet. The picture on the far right there, just so many bookshelves, books everywhere, and furniture everywhere, right? Like it was just so cluttered with furniture and books. So this is where I had to start, piece by piece, kind of decluttering, figuring out what needed to stay, what needed to go, and how I kind of envisioned what I wanted that Learning Commons, which everybody calls it a library, but I was like the Lone Ranger trying to call it a Learning Commons, and nobody still really understands what that means. But now, once you see the after slide, now it makes sense that we have a new name, because we literally have a new space. So we can go to the during, which is the next slide. So again, just kind of showing a little bit of transformation here. So the first picture there, like on the upper left, you can see how many books. I mean, I at one point I remembered how many, thousands of books had to go. And it was easier for me because I didn't have an attachment to some of these books, but I mean, some of them were in just such rough shape, just so old, so outdated, just not reflective of our curriculum, our, Indigenous teachings, like just so many just interesting obscurities that like now it was just refreshing to get rid of so many things that just weren't serving our staff and our students. And then it really helped to get like some good uniform furniture in there, like, some nice rolling tables. And again, I just kind of like borrowed and stealed from, around the school. Nothing at this point had been purchased whatsoever, except for, I don't know, you can kind of see it in that upper left picture, a cafe table. That was like one purchase maybe 4 years ago, with the four like kind of tall chairs, and the intermediate students love that space and love, kind of sitting around and, whatever. I've seen teachers have conferences with parents there. It's just kind of like just a different type of seating. And then with the foundation grant in the bottom right corner there, a couple years ago, I applied for a foundation grant through the board. What do they call it now? Hamilton Foundation. I don't know, they changed the name.
Yes. Yep. Hamilton Community Foundation. Yep.
Community Foundation. Yeah. And we had the Lego wall built. So it's on wheels, which is cool. We can kind of wheel it around. You can see in the picture in the middle there, it's the small kind of, you know, we call it regular Lego size. And then the green side is the Duplo. And kids still, I mean, kindergarten to grade 8, you put a bin of Lego down and they'll just go to town. And a lot of kids just build on the floor, which is fine, but it just allows for like another, you know, creative space. And my rule is always, if it's on the wall, it can stay. If it's on the floor, it's got to go. So, so I don't want to be stepping on it. I step on enough of it at my house. So, so that was a great, and I had a picture too of the two gentlemen from our amazing maintenance staff who actually built that wall. And again, didn't buy. Sorry, I didn't buy the board on wheels there. That was from continuing education. My site supervisor for maintenance like just found it sitting there. Hey, do you want this? I'm like, yeah. And then we just bought the Lego plates with the grant money, and that was a summer project and they loved it. So that was the first one, and they've done, I think, a few others since at other schools, like permanent ones on walls. So that's something that not a lot of people know, that we have people that can do this for you. So so that was like a great kind of new thing in our old space, like. But now, okay, now we cleared it out, and you know, it's looking more like learning commons, because there's like nice open space, tables can move, really we can use it for lots of different things. And then the final thing that happened this year was some actual renovations. So super exciting. This year was Riddell's 50th anniversary. A couple years ago, our principal at the time had to pick a capital project that they wanted to have done in time for the 50th. And so they earmarked $10,000 at the time to transform some space. And the principal chose the library. And I was super excited about that, because it's a space that every student and staff in our school uses. And so he really felt like that was kind of the best bang for the buck. You know, fast forward to this year, of course, costs have gone up post-pandemic, yada, 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 costs more than $10,000, but we were able to get a brand new floor. So on that left-hand picture, you can see the carpet tiles, which is just like a nice space for in front of the smart board there. So it's like, you know, I do dance in there. Kindergartens, we put like little poly dots down so the kinders can sit. And the great thing is there are those square tiles. So if there's something spilled or some sort of accident, as we know with kinders, then those tiles are just glued down, just lift it up, replace it, easy peasy. So luckily, knock on wood, we haven't had to do that yet, but that's kind of the beauty of the carpet, because if you notice in the other pictures, the carpet was terrible. The amount of bodily fluids and things that were in or on that carpet over 49 years. No, you don't want to know. So, and you can imagine. And then with the vinyl tiles too, it's really nice, because then, you know, easy for, you know, sometimes we have like groups that meet and eat in there. So then they're at the tables and it's off the carpet and it's easy. There has been lots of spills on that, and good thing, because it's easy to clean up with a mop. So yeah, and then, so that was over Christmas break, they did the floor. And then over March break, they came in and did the painting. So that was like kind of the final piece. Oh, and we had the windows replaced 2 summers ago too. So that was really nice. But it was like brand new windows in this awful looking space. So now like everything has kind of come together. So we had a feature wall there on the smartboard wall that's kind of like a darker gray, and then kind of a lighter gray around. And then like the walls look kind of dull and boring right now, but I've got some plans for those too. So that'll kind of be next year's project. But I just wanted to share that because it is a lot of work, and it's not easy. And I just know, as being a TL for 5 years now, it's hard. It's hard to balance, you know, teaching in the classroom and planning and juggling all the things with that. But you really are. I mean, I just feel really lucky that I get to be kind of, that is, it's not, I don't call it my classroom. I mean, it ends up being my classroom sometimes, but it's our classroom, and it's a school. It's used by everybody in our school. Our community uses it, and it's just really inviting. And people, when they came for the open house a couple weeks ago, like even former students or parents who were students, they're like, is this the library? Like, it's just changed so much that they thought that we like knocked it down and rebuilt it. So it can be done. And again, if you Michelle, if you have any questions, or anybody has any questions about, you know, how to make things happen, I'm happy to help with any advice or anything like that. And then the exciting thing, the very last exciting thing, was today, our school council had kind of hopped on board and supported me with, I wanted to buy some new tables, because the tables that are in there in that final picture are really for our little primary and kindergarten friends. They're very low. So we weren't able to have staff meetings. We weren't able to do PD in there this year. It was always like setting up folding chairs and bringing in tables, and that's kind of annoying when you want to just use the space, right? So we got 4 new tables just to start with, to see how we like them, but they're crank, so they go up and they go down, so they adjust for like small chairs and then adjust for like, you know, adult chairs. So yeah, so new furniture, so that was really exciting. And yeah, that's it.
Congratulations, Heather. I know this was no small feat, and I know this was, for lack of a better word, a passion project for you. So really kudos for, you know, your enthusiasm, for your commitment to the space and to your students. You're so right. These are hubs for your students. I think it was Adrian. Adrian, I think it was when I first met you, you referred to yourself as the rock star of the school, that you walk through the school and everyone knows who you are, because everyone gets to interact with the teacher librarian. And it's so true. These spaces and the role that you play is so important to the relationship that students have with books and reading. So please know that we know that, and are here to support you in making these spaces what they really can be, and to make them shine. So kudos. It was you, Adrian. I remember.
And thanks again to, Donna before you, but you, Amanda, and the rest of the team with the Learning Commons, like just with weeding reports, and, you know, like just the ongoing support is just, it's just nice to know that you're just like an email, an e-base, or, you know, like, or a phone call away for anything that has to do with the library. You and your team have been really supportive, so thank you for that.
Glad. We're a service department. We're here to support. All right. And last but not least, we have our final giveaway. Victoria, can I share my screen and I will do the prize wheel? It's fun to do the prize wheel. We want to do the prize wheel, right? Spin. Everyone's name should be in there. And we are giving away a really a set of 3 really neat books from a local author that Victoria, thank you very much, Victoria, who picked these up. They're signed books. Oh, Lindsay Prentice, congratulations, Lindsay. So Lindsay, have you won yet? This isn't like a radio show. It should be where if you haven't won within the last 3 months. I don't think you've won yet. Have you? If you're there? Oh, well. Congratulations, Lindsay. So we have 3 amazing books that Victoria picked up at a conference. They're signed by the author, and then they, of course, will come along with a $25 gift certificate for Indigo that you can spend on your Learning Commons within your space. So congratulations, Lindsay. We'll get those off in the mail for you tomorrow.
I just want to add as well, I met with the author, and she is local, and she would love if anyone wants to do an author talk. She's super open. So I believe her name is Valerie Campbell. So if anyone is interested.
I really loved A Queen Like Me. I thought it was a really neat story. All right. And so last but not least, we've just put our names up here. If you have any questions for us, you can reach out. Jessica Otten, who is not here with us today, she's filling in with us as a senior library technician. But again, she's picked up a few of your eBase requests. We just want to thank you again for all of your hard work, for your continued dedication to this role. For your questions, for your comments, for your feedback, all of it, for your participation in these sessions, for taking time from your day. And we look forward to seeing you again in September.